A team can lose 2 of their 3 games at this World Cup and still make the knockout rounds. Read that again. Lose twice and still advance. That's not a glitch. That's literally how the 2026 World Cup is built. 48 teams, 12 groups. A bracket so big, FIFA basically had to invent a new round just to make the math work. And right now, while you're watching this, it's actually happening. Group stage games are being played as we speak. So here's the deal. In the next 4 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how this format works, why it looked like chaos on paper, and the one rule that ties the whole thing together. Stick around because that lose twice and still advance thing, I'm explaining that one fully. It's wild. For basically forever, the World Cup had 32 teams. Nice round number. Easy bracket. Everybody understood it. Then FIFA looked at that and said, more is better. So they bumped it to 48 teams. That's a 50% jump in one tournament cycle. In theory, more teams means more countries get a shot at the dream. Nations that never sniffed a World Cup are suddenly there. In practice, it also means FIFA had to completely tear up the rulebook and rebuild it from scratch. You can't just add 16 teams to a system designed for 32 and expect it to still make sense. So here's how they split everybody up. 48 teams broken into 12 groups of 4. Each team plays the other 3 teams in its group, 1 time each. 3 games total per team in the group stage. This part is actually simple. It's basically the same group stage formula the World Cup has always used. Win your games, rack up points, climb the table. Nothing new here. In the old 32-team format, only the top 2 teams in each group moved on. Simple, clean. You finish 3rd, you go home, see you in 4 years. Now the top 2 teams in every group still advance automatically. That's 24 teams right there. But FIFA also takes the 8 best 3rd place teams across all 12 groups and lets them in too. Because best 3rd place doesn't mean undefeated. It just means best compared to other 3rd place finishers. So a team can draw 1 game, lose 1 game, and squeak out a single win. Finish dead last in their group and still get a golden ticket to the knockout round. Meanwhile, a team in a brutal group with 3 good opponents could go 1-1-1 with a better goal difference and still get bounced. It's not about being good. It's about being good relative to a bunch of teams you never even played. That's the loophole I promised you. A team can technically lose more games than it wins and still survive. Brutal, but kind of brilliant, honestly. So now you've got 32 teams, making it out of the group stage instead of the usual 16, that's double, which creates a problem. The bracket math for 16 teams doesn't work for 32, so FIFA had to add an entirely new round, the round of 32. It never existed before in World Cup history. It sits right between the group stage and what used to be the first knockout round. You know the type of change that sounds small on paper, but completely reshapes everything downstream? This is that. One new round and suddenly the whole tournament stretches longer. More games get added. And broadcasters are thrilled because that's more advertising windows. Just saying, here's a detail most people miss completely. FIFA didn't just throw the top teams into a random bracket. They deliberately split the strongest nations into 2 separate pathways. Translation? The 2 best teams in the world, based on rankings, are placed on opposite sides of the bracket. Same with the 3rd and 4th best. That means, if everything goes according to seeding, those top teams literally cannot face each other until the final. The 4 very best teams can't even meet before the semifinals. In theory, this protects the marquee matchups for the biggest stage possible. In practice, it also means the road for everyone else gets way more unpredictable, because now you've got unseeded chaos filling in around a deliberately engineered Final 4. Okay, so zoom out. Why would FIFA build something this complicated? Money and growth. More teams means more countries care. More countries caring means more global viewership, more ad revenue, more ticket sales spread across 3 host nations instead of 1. The tournament went from 64 total matches to 104. That's not an accident. That's 40 extra games of pure revenue. And honestly, for fans in smaller soccer nations, this is the first real shot some of them have ever had to see their country on the biggest stage. That part's genuinely cool, even if the bracket logic gives you a headache trying to explain it to your group chat. So yeah, a team really can lose 2 out of 3 group games and still make the knockout rounds because the entire format was built around math, not just merit. The 2026 World Cup format looks like chaos until you realize it's just a really elaborate way to squeeze more countries, more games, and more money out of one tournament without technically breaking the sport. So here's the question. Is a bigger World Cup actually a better World Cup? Or did FIFA just trade quality control for a bigger paycheck? Drop your take in the comments. If this finally made the bracket make sense, subscribe. I break down stuff like this every week. And you do not want to be the one explaining offside rules wrong at your watch party.